TVC News, Jos.
Okay then, so there we have it. It's something, it's quite involved. The speaker, you were listening to the speaker there, Honorable Gabriel Diwan, who is towing the straight and narrow path, saying that, look, we're legislators here, we're not interpreters of the law. And as he was saying, the House is in receipt of two judgments. One, the Court of Appeal, and that has been overturned by the Supreme Court, which has said that the Court of Appeal was in error. Also, the Court of Appeal had overturned the election of the governor, Governor Mutwang. That has also been overturned by the Supreme Court. In fact, the Supreme Court described the whole process as an abuse of court process. So this is where we are. The 16 members, as you just saw there, and their supporters had tried to access the House, but that didn't happen. The man has a quandary on his hands, the Speaker, Gabriel Diwan, because he said there are 16 vacancies, but 32 people who are laying claim to the 16 vacancies. This sort of works out as two people, laying claim to the seat, and that's because in the Court of Appeal, what had happened was that having been the people who had been elected haven't been declared invalid because the Supreme Court later decided that they didn't have the structure on the ground, so they could not possibly have have been elected. All of that, we'll sort of try and make a sense of it now as we speak to one of our guests this morning, Honorable Naanlong Gabriel Daniel. He's of APC. He's a member-elect, and he was in the immediate past Assembly Majority Leader. A fine morning to you, Honorable Daniel.
Good morning to you and good morning to our viewers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, your party members, the 16 APC members, did not present themselves at the venue. I have heard in the news that you were advised against presenting yourself, but tell us about it. As I said in the preamble there are now 16 people from the APC, 16 people from the PDP laying claim to the 16 seats available. Just tell us again why APC didn't show.
Well, thank you very much for the question. Let me make it very clear that the 16 legitimate members who are awaiting inauguration from the APC are men and women of integrity, people who understand the power of the Constitution and respect for the rules of law. The House of Assembly is not a banana republic. It is a house that is governed by her rules. The 8 members who were there before the recess resumed their recess yesterday to go to the House of Assembly without going through the necessary process. And the simple process, part of what they need to do is that our certificate of return is already before the Speaker. It is expected that be captured in the order paper, which the House will communicate us to present ourselves. For us to have been there at the resumption. Until we are communicated, we don't just move in there. There are groups House of Assembly. At least I've been a ranking member. 8 years in the State House of Assembly is not a joke. So we must conduct ourselves accordingly. And that was why we were not there yesterday. We are expecting communication from we are going to have, which I believe it will form the basis of their discussion. That was why we were not there yesterday.
Okay, and but do you care to comment, because it's the judgments are now out, and the Supreme Court has done a lot of reversals. The main one, of course, being the overturning of the appeal court's decision to sack Governor Caleb Mutfwang, and the people from his party, the legislators from his party, saying that, look, that overturning, of course, it's probably well known that these contestations couldn't go to the Supreme Court for the honorable members, but they are now saying that it's implied that that overturning also affects them. What are your comments there?
Well, you see, when people elect us into a position of authority, we live up to that expectation by behaving in a manner that will be recognized as honorable. Being an honorable member means that you understand the Constitution and that you are a Democrat and that you understand that democracy is standing on the strength of the rules of law. That is what defines our democracy. And I expect that if there was to go back to our Constitution, what is the jurisdiction and the final jurisdiction? When appeal court gave a judgment, as far as the Constitution, all matters related to National and State House of Assembly, the court of final jurisdiction. So that is available, and that is a judgment that it cannot be contested. If they so wish, if they believe that what happened at the Supreme Court has also given them a leeway for them to go for the review. You see, let me also tell you that the Supreme Court judgment came to us too as a surprise. Or the part of Falana who also fronted at some of the decisions that I get some of the classical cases. But you see, we're a Democrat. We will not challenge any. We know that it is a court of final jurisdiction in respect to the issues of the executive. And it does not extend to any other person. The judgment is where it ends. There was no pronouncement. They were not a joint party to the issue in any way. They feel that there is a room for them to contest, the judgment of the appeal court. I think they must honor to the Supreme Court, which of course, they don't have the jurisdiction to entertain the matter. So they can go back to the appeal court to look for an avenue that you can create commotion and call for a civil unrest and trying to take the law into your hand. So the judgment, according to the way you feel, not according to the law, then I can tell you it is a call for anarchy. The presence of the 16 members at the State House of Assembly yesterday was quite unfortunate. I believe that in their own mind, they truly know that they have gone out of it and that they are not in the good side of history because, like I said, Plateau State must not always be in the public domain for the wrong reasons. We must show leadership. We must control our emotions. We must demonstrate our capacity in terms of adherence to the tenet of democracy. I think we are all Democrats. So for anybody to think that the judgment of Supreme Court has actually given them the right to claim that they are members and elect is quite unfortunate. I think Nigerians are watching, and Nigerians know the truth. So we should not encourage people to call for anarchy. What we need to do is to respect the court, just like the way we respected the decision of the Supreme Court. It's not as if we like it, we were hopeful, but at every point in time, judgment of judges Because all the judges, none of them is infallible. So judgment of judges are judgment that we ought to respect. And we respect the Supreme Court judgment. We do not call our people to come out and say, no, they should cause commotion. No. And we expect them to do same. Because we are all Plateau people. In the presence of the security crisis on the Plateau, I expect any well-meaning Plateau man, any reasonable Plateau person will have no reasons to create a situation whereby people will resort to self-help. It's quite unfortunate, but the world is watching.
Tell me about the Mangu